welcome to another week of Reading with the Kohlers. Does anybody happen to know what this Sunday is? That's right, it is the Super Bowl, where we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers playing against the Kansas City Chiefs. This week, my special readers are two football coaches from Cole City High School, so I hope you enjoy their books.
Hello everyone, my name is Mr. McCula. I am an 8th grade math teacher and a high school football coach for the Kohlers. And did you know I actually played for the Kohlers? In fact, here's my high school helmet from when I was a senior in high school. And it is the same as the last time I wore it. And it stays right here in my classroom. And since it's Super Bowl week and I'm a football coach, I figured, why not read a football story? Family Huddle. Written by Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, and Archie Manning. Little background story. The Mannings are the most famous family in football. Peyton and Eli Manning are both star quarterbacks. They've led their team to victory in the Super Bowl and have won MVP trophies. Their older brother, Cooper, was an all-state wide receiver in high school and received a football scholarship to the University of Mississippi, Ole Miss. And their father, Archie, was a star quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. Football's always been a big deal in the Manning family. Here is Family Huddle, written by Peyton, Eli, and Archie Manning. The picture book is based on some of the Mannings' family and football memories from their days in Louisiana and Mississippi. And here are the Manning boys, Eli, Peyton, and Archie. Family Huddle, written by Peyton, Eli, and Archie Manning. Illustrations by Jim Madsen. Archie was in the front yard in New Orleans playing with his 3 sons, Cooper, Peyton, and Eli. It was Peyton's turn at their favorite game, Amazing Catches. "Go deep!" called Archie. It was the boys' favorite play. Peyton ran full speed across the lawn. His dad threw the ball high and far. Peyton dived and caught the ball on his fingertips. He rolled to a stop in the grass as his brothers cheered. The neighbor's dog licked his face. Olivia, their mom, was laughing on the front porch. "Nice catch, Peyton. You boys come in and wash up before we go. This weekend is going to be filled with family and football." There's Peyton getting his face licked. And their mom. "All right, boys, let's wrap it up," said Dad. "Come on, just one more play," shouted Eli. "I'll be the quarterback. Fade route." Once the car was packed, the boys stood together by their driveway. The football was hidden under Peyton's arm. As their mom and dad headed toward the car, Peyton handed the ball to Eli, and then Peyton and Cooper ran towards their parents, distracting them. Eli ran the ball into the back seat of the car. It was a perfect quarterback sneak. It was a long drive to Drew, Mississippi, where Archie's mom lived. The boys liked playing sports trivia games to pass the time. This one was called the numbers game. 34, said Cooper, sitting in the back seat with his brothers. Peyton thought about it and came up with a football player who wore jersey number 34. "Walter Payton," he said. Next, it was Peyton's turn. 8. Before Cooper could answer, Eli called out my age and Dad's number. Cooper and Eli laughed out loud. They played the numbers game over and over again. Archie stopped a block from his mom's small brick house and let the boys run the rest of the way. "Grandma Sis," they called. Their grandma heard them coming. She put down her knitting needles and picked up a plate of freshly baked chocolate chip cookies. She stepped outside and could see them zigging and zagging as they threw the football to each other. "Hi, boys," said Grandma Sis. "There's plenty of cookies for everyone." Do you like my grandma voice? After lunch, everyone went outside for a group photograph. Olivia hugged the boys and said, "As long as you look out for each other, you'll always be on a winning team." The boys giggled, and then Eli hollered to Cooper and Peyton, "Button hook!" Then he took off across the yard. Peyton smiled as Cooper snapped the ball back to him. He knew this play. "Get open, Eli!" he shouted. It looked like Eli would run clear into the next lawn. Suddenly, he planted his foot and turned in towards his brothers. "Hit me, Pate," he said. Peyton fired the pass. It was a perfect pass and a perfect catch, but Eli's foot landed in a puddle. Cooper and Peyton cracked up as Eli did a muddy dance. Later that afternoon, they joined a football game near the town's fire station. It was Peyton's turn at quarterback. Peyton handed the ball off to a teammate for a runaround, but the play didn't work. The team lost yards. Peyton looked over at the old fire truck and remembered his mother's words. Then he looked at Cooper and Eli. "Eli, this one's for you," Peyton said. "Ring the alarm." They ran the hook and ladder play. Cooper was the best receiver, so he got the tricky part. Once the ball was snapped, he ran down the side of the field. Peyton hit him with a short pass. Cooper saw the defense coming his way. No one noticed little Eli running up behind him. And just as Cooper was being tackled, he flipped the ball back to Eli. "Go, Wee!" he shouted. Eli caught the ball and ran for the touchdown. Early the next morning, Grandma Sis made silver dollar pancakes with blueberry syrup for breakfast. After the boys helped with the dishes and said their goodbyes, they piled back into the car to visit their other grandparents in Philadelphia, Mississippi. The boys slept most of the way there. As they pulled into the driveway, Archie honked the horn. Their grandparents were standing on the big front porch waiting for them. "Gan, Gan," they shouted to their grandmother. "Papa," they called to their grandfather. Soon, the boys were in the front yard. Eli was already on the bike he liked to ride around town. His brothers were getting ready to follow him when the postman came by with the mail. Eli pointed to the postman and hollered to them, "Are you thinking what I'm thinking?" Cooper and Peyton didn't need to say a word. They'd come up with their own hand signals for some football plays. This was one of them, the post pattern. Peyton pressed his fingers together and made a slashing motion with his hand. He motioned at an angle toward the far side of the yard. Cooper took off, using all his speed. He ran straight at first. Just as Peyton released a rainbow pass, Cooper cut in at an angle toward the center of the field. He stretched out his hands and caught the ball. So here's the postman. Eli watched everything from his bike. He laughed when he heard Cooper call out, "The postman always delivers." When they returned to their grandparents' house, their mom was waiting on the porch. "Hurry and get ready. We have a long drive ahead of us." They said goodbye to Gangan and Papa. "We'll be back soon," they said, waving their hands. Eli, Peyton, and Cooper piled into the back seat. 13, said Eli. "That's easy. Dan Marino," said Peyton. The numbers game started again. It was just getting dark when they got home. Their dad got out of the driver's seat. "I got an idea," he said. "Why don't we finish that game?" "Not too long," said Mom. "It's almost supper time." The boys looked over. Somehow, their dad had gotten his hands on the football. "Family huddle," Archie called. Eli, Peyton, and Cooper ran over to him and linked arms together and listened to the play. "Break on one," their dad said, and they did. Their brothers smiled and sprinted across the yard. Their mom was right. They were on a winning team. The end. Well, thank you for joining me for this story. I hope you enjoyed it. And have a great week. And we'll see you later.
Hi, my name is Coach Lochran, and I coach football at the high school. I'm here with my son Brady, who goes to the ECC, and he's in kindergarten. Who are your teachers, Brady?
Mrs. Wren and Mrs. Barza.
Yep. All right, we've got the Super Bowl coming up, so we're going to read a football book today. Today's book is called Hooray for Fly Guy. Let's take a look. Chapter 1. Fly Guy went with Buzz to play football. Coach said, "We need one more player for the big game." Buzz said, "Fly Guy can play." Coach laughed. "Flies can't play football." Buzz said, "Fly Guy, show him what you can do." Fly Guy kicked the ball. Fly Guy went out for a pass. Fly Guy tried to tackle Buzz. "I was right," said Coach. "Flies can't play football, but he can come to the game." Chapter 2. It was the day before the big game. Buzz made a helmet for Fly Guy. They played football, they did jumping jacks, they planned a secret play, they made up a touchdown dance. They went to the big game. Coach said, "A new player joined our team." Fly Guy sat on the bench. The game started. His team scored. Fly Guy cheered. The other team scored. Fly Guy worried. The other team scored a lot. Chapter 3. Finally, there was 1 second left in the game. The other team was ahead. They were about to score again. And the new player was hurt. Coach said, "Okay, Fly Guy, you can play now. The game is lost anyway." Buzz said, "It's time for our secret play." Fly Guy went to the line. The other team snapped the ball to their quarterback. Fly Guy flew fast and straight. He flew right up the quarterback's nose. The boy dropped the ball. Buzz picked it up and ran. He scored. Fly Guy and Buzz did their touchdown dance. The team cheered. "We won! Hooray for Fly Guy." How was that?
Good.
Good. All right. We hope you enjoyed it too.